Kidnapping, banditry, armed robbery, brutal killings and destructions in different parts of the country stare Nigerians in the face, with the most vulnerable, children, women and aged ones, the worst hit. Insecurity in the country heightened in 2014. The government insists it is on top of the game.
You see, for anybody to know and appreciate what the military has done. So when we say that the Boko Haram has been largely defeated, we are actually vindicated. The army, they have been able to decimate them, they have been decapitated, they lack the capacity to launch the kind of horrendous attack they used to launch before. Boko Haram insurgency, like any insurgency, is not a conventional war. Really, it's for us in Nigeria today, as civilians, to also own the war and supply the missing link. What you need to do now is the biggest problem we have now about Boko Haram. It's not dislodging them. We've actually succeeded in that. Is how do we rehabilitate? How do we resettle?
In a recent comment, he insists that the government is winning the war.
Terrorists' recent attempts to attack soft targets in Damaturu, the Yobe state capital, and Biu in Borno state were repelled by the military, with the terrorists suffering heavy casualties.
This comment is vehemently disregarded as the nation is jolted by the killing of the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Adamawa Northeast by Boko Haram insurgents after days of incarceration.
I was really shocked because even as of Sunday, I was very hopeful that the negotiation will be fruitful, and then at the end of the day, they will release the pastor. But to my greatest surprise, they went ahead and killed him. In the first place, the demands they made, they were demanding for 2 million euro. But again, we negotiated, and we thought that they had really understood with us, and we understood them, and then we were going to strike the deal and then effect it. But they decided to behave differently. I think the first thing that the government needs to do is to tell Nigerians the truth. Boko Haram is not defeated, and they are still active and strong. And so the government should stop fooling Nigerians, and they should stop deceiving Nigerians. Boko Haram are still there, and they are still very active. If they are not there, then why should we be experiencing these kind of things? Who can pass from Michika to Maiduguri without a military escort? Even sometimes with the military escort, you have to stop and wait for Boko Haram to finish their operation before you pass. So Boko Haram is still active, and they are still taking control and still in possession of some territory within the Northeast.
The Northeast has been a target for insurgents who have left many displaced from their ancestral homes. Security spending in 2018 budget is $1.58 billion, which translates to a paltry 58% Nigerian. Records show that at least 15 out of Nigeria's 36 states are currently experiencing violence and upheaval from Boko Haram and herdsmen attacks.
The defeat of the Boko Haram terrorists.
Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Burtai, has estimated that the economic impact of Boko Haram activities in the Northeast has cost the country 274.5 billion naira, with the loss of agricultural production put at 107 billion naira. January 9, 2020, governors of the 6 southwestern states in Nigeria launched the Western Nigeria Security Network, codenamed Operation Amotekun, to reinforce the existing security architecture of the region. The governors aim to end the spate of insecurity in the region and push for economic advancement. More than 130 patrol vans and hundreds of motorbikes have been distributed by the government for the startup of the project. reminisces of the hunter's creed of old, a call to brotherhood from one of the foremost monarchs in the southwest region, the Ooni of Ife, Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi. Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, is the central point of assemblage.
About 6 months ago, we met right here in Oyo State and decided to set up a regional collaborative security agency. As governors of these states, it is our priority to ensure that both indigenes and settlers living within the boundaries of our various states can carry out their legitimate activities in a secure environment. The security of their lives and properties should be of paramount importance. Our regional integration, our coming together, should be seen in one light and one light alone. That we are coming together to fight a common enemy. That enemy is not Nigeria. The enemies are the elements among us and their affiliates who are determined to cause commotion within the borders of our state and threaten our peaceful coexistence.
We do not want this to create any fear in the minds of anyone. And we've seen all manner of things in the social media. Although we are not responsible for it, and we cannot explain it, but we see those things that have proliferated the social media as an attempt to sabotage what we are doing. We are not creating a regional police force. Neither are we oblivious of the steps we must take. Yes, some of us are unapologetic, inveterate advocates of state police. But we are also law-abiding citizens of Nigeria. We know the process and the procedures that we need to undergo in order to get to that point. We know we need a constitutional amendment, and we're not there yet.
Until recently, it has become very embarrassing when you have reports of security breaches as they occur on daily basis. Most of us are so worried. We have been so worried about it. We cannot predict the exactitude of where this unfortunate disturbance will take place. Hence, we felt that a combined effort of all of us will be very necessary. It will save us from all this banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, armed robbery, herdsmen and farmers' conflict, clashes for ritual killings, and cybercrime. The current situation in the country demands pragmatic and proactive solutions.
The celebration is short-lived as the federal government declares Operation Amotekun illegal. In a statement signed by the Special Assistant Media and Public Relations Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Dr. Omar Jibrilu Gwandu, the setting up of the paramilitary organization called Amotekun is illegal and runs contrary to the provisions of the Nigerian law. The statement stirs up controversies in the polity. Professor of Law Akin Oyebode disagrees with the government stand.
Well, I think the Attorney General of the Federation misdirected himself in his statement by linking it with defense. Defense is a matter on the exclusive list. We don't need different armies in the country. But in terms of stopping people from self-help, I think the Amotekun solution is novel and quite attractive. More so in different parts of the country, different states, have devised really interesting methods of law enforcement. In the religious-minded part of the country, we have Hisbah, okay, to handle matters that are offensive to Islam. Then even in the north, in the northeast, you have the civilian joint task force who help the military in maintaining order. I think rather than condemning the Southwest, I think they need to be saluted and congratulated. Look at how much the states in the Southwest have been paying to sustain the police. Lagos is a typical example. Under Ambode, you remember how much he did in terms of refurbishing the needs of the police. I'm an advocate of state police. So if Nigeria, as some people will say, if we are not ready yet for state police, then let's have a neighborhood watch type, like the Megad, coming to this estate. You know you were questioned at the gate. I must tell you that at night we have policemen guarding us here. We levy ourselves to have armed police sustaining us in this estate. So I don't see what is wrong with the states in the Southwest bringing their efforts together, financing, sustaining, training, and even giving the wherewithal to prevent the breakdown of law and order. That's the way I understand what the Southwest can create an arsenal of legal bigwigs to confront Malami. Malami is a fine guy, but he studies his law in Usman Danfodio University, which is not the leading law faculty in the country. So quite sincerely, I think it's a battle that they cannot win. As Akere is, I think we can, in fact, disembowel the potential conflict that it seems Malami is creating. Malami is not a court of law. He's just Attorney General. He can advise the president, but he can't pontifically state what the law is. Only the judges are so placed within our own jurisprudence. I think even if he had reservations, the way he put it, to make nonsense of the governors in the Southwest is most untoward. And he owes the governors an apology. And that's why they are threatening to take him to court.
Before the official launch of Operation Amotekun, the Inspector General of Police held a meeting with Southwest governors and endorsed the security initiative.
By virtue of Section 318 of the Constitution,
Fiery lawyer Femi Falana says by virtue of Section 318 of the Constitution, the word government is said to include the government of the Federation or any state or of a local government council or any person who exercises power or authority on its behalf.
to that extent, the Inspector General of Police has spoken for the federal government. The Attorney General of the Federation cannot, he doesn't have the power to declare any organization illegal in Nigeria. If he's convinced that Amotekun is illegal, he has to go to court. On the part of the Southwest governors as well, they will need, each of the state governors, we need to approach the House of Assembly to enact a law defining the operations, a law for the establishment, for the funding of Amotekun, just like you have the Neighborhood Watch law in Lagos State.
He describes the purported proscription of Amotekun as hypocritical and discriminatory on the grounds that the civilian JTF operating in Yobe and Borno states is constituted by 26,000 well-armed volunteers who have been assisting the armed forces to combat terrorism in the northeast region. He also notes that the governments of Kano and Zamfara states have established the Hisbah Commission. 2 days after the government's pronouncement, Yoruba ethnic group Odua World Congress storms the streets of Akure in Ondo State in a solidarity rally for Operation Amotekun. The rally is taken to the governor's office.
The Amotekun initiative has brought a ray of hope that at last we can begin to have a well-structured organization that can help us to defend ourselves peacefully without taking the laws into our hands. And we are out here to support the governors of the southwestern states, that we are with them fully on this matter. And we even want them to go a step further and legislate and make laws, appropriate laws to back up at Amotekun, and also to prohibit illegal and arbitrary grazing and destruction of our farmlands.
The same rally is replicated in neighboring Oyo State, the proposed headquarters of Operation Amotekun. The people insist the initiative has come to stay. The case is not different in Ogun State.
The entire Yoruba here and abroad are solidly behind them on this project of Amotekun, and we are not going to disappoint them in any way. Then we now thank Governor Seyi Makinde for his initiative, and we don't want teams to feel biased at all. We want teams to continue his good job. And the message from our leader, Professor Banji Akintoye, is that none of them should revert what they have started.
In Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State capital, a movement comprising social cultural organizations, council of elders, vigilante groups and youths, among others, are confident Operation Amotekun can complement the existing conventional security outfits. They justify the setting up of the outfit by the Southwest governors, insisting that they have simply yielded to the people's call.
We should take security as very, very important, and that is why we hunters are in support of what our governors, the 5 state governors of in the West, initiated. We are in support. We want to support them for security. All this rate of kidnapper, armed robber, herdsmen and farmers problems. We want to put peace. We want to support the security of the state. We want to support the police. We want to support the army to curb whatever problems of kidnapping or whatever vandalism, whatever. We want to support them.
It was a pressure month on these governors that we want you to secure us. That is why we vote for you. Ordinarily, they wouldn't have loved to do it because they believe that at least we have some conventional security agencies. But the demand kept coming that we are no longer safe. For example, I heard from Ado-Ekiti, there was a year at least 3 people were eliminated by these criminals. And there was nobody that came there or that day after that ready to safeguard the environment. It was an initiative through the pressure mounted on this governor by the good people of these states, I mean the Southwest, that please secure us. We cannot be killed. We don't want people to be killing us every day. Please help us. And reluctantly, when the pressure kept coming, they have to succumb to the pressures of the people because that's the essence of voting them there.
In northeast Adamawa State, one of the worst hit states in Boko Haram insurgency, the Christian Association of Nigeria welcomes Operation Amotekun in the southwest with open arms. The association queries the existence of other regional security outfits.
Anybody that says that Amotekun should be banned, I think such people are behind the security challenges we're facing in this country, either directly or indirectly. Sure. If they say that should be banned, it means that they want us to continue to live in fear. They want us to continue to be intimidated. They want us to be killed, and they want us to be deprived of our properties. So anybody that is anti-Amotekun, that person, I can say, has either directly or indirectly hands in the insecurity taking place in the country, either that of Boko Haram or the banditry or the kidnapping. Such person will not be free from supporting such groups. The civilian JTF, what are they being used for? The vigilante all over in the north, what are they being used for? The hunters, what are they being used for? Why should they single out that of Yoruba land, Amotekun?
One man with a contrary opinion on Operation Amotekun is the former vice president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Issa Aremu. He calls on the governors of the southwestern states to avoid decentralizing the police through what he termed the back door with the launch of Amotekun. He calls for caution.
Very interesting initiative to address the issue of security at the regional level. Very good initiative along that line. But I'm not sure whether most Nigerians, including even the citizens of the Southwest, are clear about the routes guiding this new security outfit. Again, for me, it has come as a shock therapy. I think we need a gradualist approach to addressing our security architecture. But my advice to the governors is that anything they want to do should be done within the constitutional arrangement of Nigeria. Today, as I'm talking to you, security is on the exclusive list of our constitution. And we should not decentralize police through the back door. We have to do through the open door. We should be clear what are the terms. And if you ask me, you give uniform, to youths, however defined. Are they trained? Are they trainable? What do you pay them? What arms do you give them? Will it not lead to proliferation of arms, uncontrolled? Already we're having problem with the national, police force, which is even registered. I'm talking of Nigerian police force, with all the challenges they are going through. We're having problem in which arms are being wrongly misused. It's part of the training given to them. Is it emergency security outfit that will be able to address that? So I think we need to be careful. And on police, on security, I think what Nigeria needs, of course, we need more policemen and women. Don't forget they are already under police in the country.
The Vice President meets with the 6 Southwest governors, the Inspector General of Police, and the Attorney General of the Federation. An agreement is reached between the governors of the Southwest states and the federal government.
This legal framework is going to be one in which all of us will look at, and we'll be sure that it goes without any hindrance. What I believe our resolution is that, look, Amotekun is there. Amotekun will have to, the federal government is starting community policing, and it's more of, in essence, really, it's about community policing. So we're going to work together and see the community policing and Amotekun work in a way. What has developed is what has led to this. Not that there was no consultation. We just felt that, look, with all this noise outside, it's better for us to sit down. And you remember, even immediately the noise started, I said that we are going to explore political solution. And all of us are here, my colleague, Deputy Governor of Oyo, who is of PDP, all of us are here. So we have looked at this solution to it now, political and legal solution to it. All of us will do it. So the Attorney General has spoken. I'm sure you all read the statement that it was misinterpreted. So it's so clear. So, there was no time. At no time did the government wanted to stop Amotekun. That's what we must go about with. And all of us believe that they didn't want to stop Amotekun. And when the Federal Attorney General hasn't spoken, it's all about us. So there's no problem.
Thank you. Maybe the Attorney General will set the record straight. And
the record has been set straight by His Excellency. I have nothing to add.
The governors will now have to draw up a legal framework for Operation Amotekun, which has been generating controversy since it was launched.